Here's another one from Violet from Orlando, Florida. She wants to know if you or I, if there's one cold case that's on our radar that we think is finally on the verge of being solved. I'll run at this first if you don't mind, Fitz. I'm a little cautious about saying any one cold case is definitely on the verge of being solved. I think that there's a few that are generally feel like they're closer than ever before, and that's largely because of the advances in forensic science, forensic genealogy, digital forensics. If I had to name one category rather than a single case, it would be long dormant homicide cases where they preserve biological evidence. And investigators are now re-examining it with modern DNA technology. I think that when they do that, it helps them move it from a frozen cold to active without a whole lot of public fanfare, at least until the arrest is suddenly made. But I guess I didn't answer your question, so I'm going to take a shot here. And I don't know if you agree with this, but I think if I had to choose one case, it's kind of a one that's well known by everybody. I think it has some momentum, and that's the Zodiac Killer investigation. But there's multiple independent teams. There's a lot of people looking at this, and they have narrowed their suspects down. Previously dismissed evidence, I think the letters, the ciphers, the partial prints, they're all being re-examined. And I think that law enforcement agencies appear more open to revisiting conclusions that they once thought were closed. And I think that may help them. So, I mean, that's my take on that question there, Jim.
I think you handled that very succinctly and with all the important components to it. There's a few cases of which I am familiar, and I don't want to put too much stock in it publicly right now. But let's just say I'm working on a few things, and I'm hoping before the next year is out, maybe even before the next few months are out, we can have some positive results in that. And I'm actively working with a law enforcement agency in that regard. And I would be glad to talk about that on Cold Red when the time comes. But in terms of any other one particular case, I don't have one on the top of my head. I think the ones you mentioned.
Jim, I know
I'll just throw this in there. I've been saying this in the last few years. There are some serial rapists and serial killers out there right now in their 60s and 70s that are pretty nervous. And they're waiting for a knock on the door any day of the week because they know what they did in the 60s, 1970s, 80s, whenever. And so I will dedicate this question to all you guys out there. You probably don't listen to Cold Red, or maybe you do, because you want to make sure you're not going to get caught for the crimes you committed back then. But there are a lot of people that this genealogical DNA and all the other factors of it, it's only a matter of time before a lot of people are going to be identified, and we'll see if they're still alive or in fact, maybe deceased or in prison for something else. But they will get solved.
Jim, real quick salient point here is the real key here is the preservation of biological and physical evidence in those cold cases. The better preserved that information or that evidence is, the better chance they have at solving it today with today's technology. So my thing to law enforcement is always do your very best in any criminal case, because even if it's not solved, there's always advances coming in forensics that may one day solve it